So, as I slept, I dreamt. And during that time, it occurred to me that there were a few things that must be addressed. Firstly, the Erdtree Sentinel. As I fought it, I focused entirely on besting the beast and its rider. This was difficult work and required a great deal of focus and dedication. However, at the time, certain obligation towards observation was not being properly, well, enacted. That being said, I shall now communicate 4 important points that I remember from those battles. Firstly, it is worth noting that the Erdtree Sentinel and their horse seemed inseparable. We and the Kaiden can both be unhorsed, and the horse is a separate target that can be eliminated to remove significant boons from the rider. Neither of this is true for the Erdtree Sentinel. It was as if they were the same entity. Secondly, you remember that their helm was crowned with a tree. Fitting for an Erdtree Sentinel, however, the tree on the helm only had green leaves, whereas while you can certainly see green amongst the colors of the tree, gold is the primary hue, and it is joined by various shades of orange and red. All the leaves which fall are gold, though, and the fallen leaves tell a story. Perhaps the verdant crown of the Erdtree Sentinel does as well. There must be some sort of story as to why the protector of the Erdtree would bear green leaves rather than gold. Thirdly, while the Sentinel's man armor was totally gold or gold-clad, the gilding on the horse armor appears to have been worn away in some places, especially on the leaves which it bore in the form of a skirt. On many of these, you could see the underlying, erstwhile hidden silver gleaming for all to see. This may tell an important story as well. Lastly, it occurs to me that it is strange that a guardian of the tree would be so far away from it. There must be... there must have been a very special mission for which the Tree Sentinel was this far away. I could not see it being so removed from the Erdtree otherwise. Perhaps it was to stop me. Though this may sound a little bit egotistical, the placement of said Tree Sentinel happens to coincide with my place of emergence into the world. And I don't know why an old grave of heroes would be guarded. It certainly doesn't seem that Godfrey was being prevented from having his soldiers there gathering corpses and desecrating coffins. So they let those soldiers on through. But not us. Us, they decided they wanted to kill. Most curious, no? Well, regardless, I have decided there is an enemy here that I must kill, and likely many times. So, No, I will. Okay, so I've finally acquired a piece of chest armor. Hooray. A little bit too heavy for me. But, oh well. Can at least talk about the lore surrounding the armor. Worn by soldiers loyal to grafted Godric, the surcoat depicts the distant Erdtree and the Beast Regent, an emblem of the golden lineage. Both are symbols of glory now past. Let's see if I can't wear it without gloves. Nope. Let's see. I could wear it without those boots, and I can wear it with this set of boots. So I will accept that. That said, let us see here. Gauntlets worn by knights loyal to grafted Godric. Time has yet to dull their luster. Excellent, excellent. Now. There is a couple of new items in the shield category. There are a couple new items in the shield category, I should say. Wooden tower shield. Lightweight for a Greatshield and easy to handle. Commonly used in the shattering. Greatshields boast high damage, negation, and guard capacity, making enemy attacks easy to repel. Brace behind shield before using body weight to ram foes while maintaining a guard stance. Weaker enemies will be shoved backwards and can even be staggered. Goody. That was annoying to deal with. But let us find out what the actual prize here says. Behold the Gilded Greatshield. Metal Greatshield coated with gold, carried by knights loyal to Godric. The red tinge in the gold coat mirrors the primordial matter that became the Erdtree, the color of homeward yearning. This will be very important shortly. Onward we go. But first, I should rest. Oh yes, and since I'm here, I did remember another thing in my dream. Regarding Stormfoot Catacombs, I miscommunicated. While I said that the butterfly was all that was left after the spirits left the ashes, I believe that the test was actually whether the catalyst could increase Glovewort's absorption rate, and the smoldering butterfly served to do just that. A successful experiment designed with both a, let's say, what is the word? A controlled option and an actual trial option. Now, this is nearly as far as I've actually gone. Sorry about that, horse. Nobles Estark. Ooh. That is quite refined. Now, let us see what they were guarding, shall we? Oh, dear. It won't allow me to open it up unless they are stopped. Pardon me. Sorry about your companion, troll. You really should have stopped. The Great Axe. Interesting indeed. Great axe akin to a huge lump of iron. Recognized as the weapon of choice of Badlands chieftains. Too heavy to be wielded by those with merely ordinary strength. Blows from this axe would flatten enemies, and the force of its charged attack is a sight to behold. Skill, barbaric roar. Let loose a bestial roar to rally the spirits and increase attack power. While active, strong attacks change to savage combo attacks. Intriguing. Estoc carried by the wandering nobles, made to be easy to wield. Dabbed with gold from tip to tail, it should fetch a good sum. Well, valuable weapon there. I appreciate this. And now there is a ruin right here. I think I will try to clear it out. The Waypoint ruins. Ho, 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 ho. This may be a little bit difficult, but we shall see what we can do. is a most curious boon you've got there. That shall not be enough. One golden rune, Miranda powder, and immunizing cured meat. Well, not terribly great as far as salvage goes, but at the very least, interesting results. Let's see what this Miranda powder is all about. Pollen from man-eating Miranda flowers. Oh, good to exterminate them then. Material used for crafting items. Throughout history, perfumers have prized this extremely fragrant form of Miranda pollen, not yet scattered into the air. Well, at least they were useful for something. Flower that grows in toxic terrain. Material used for crafting items. That is an interesting shape, very similar to that of the Erdleaf flower. Dusky yellow flowers that have started to fade to brown, found throughout the lands between, said to be fed by leaves that fall from the Erd tree, or fell from the Erd tree in days of antiquity. I suppose those leaves might have turned to mulch by now. But why would they have to be old leaves? That is a curious thought. Metal gauntlets covered in nicks and dents, widely issued to foot soldiers in a lord's army. And finally, tanned leather coat, adorned with fine gold embroidery. Travel attire worn by nobles in the capital, and the belongings of a family which claims a knight as their ancestor. Abandoning their birthplace after the shattering, these undead wanderers are the pitiful product of unending life. Well, I think I prefer that. This is a more reasonable look for someone such as me. And that is that. Magic can overcome the mightiest of foes. Learn this lesson well. Perhaps in another life, you shall find yourself in a much better place, Pumpkinhead. Grace. 14,000 is a great, great bounty of runes. But I have a feeling I might need some of these. Let's see what fate has in store. And then I will level up afterwards, if it permits. What are these shards? They are quite familiar. Something in my head is ringing like... Well, that might have been from the club that struck me a moment ago. But what do you say? Know you the nature of these gems?
Tarnished, are we? I wonder you should turn up here. I am Sellen, a sorcerer, quite plainly. Why are you here?
Sellen. Her name can mean stars, or could be based off of Selene, which would align her with the moon. Perhaps we shall one day see which is more accurate. She seems surprised by our presence. Is this because she finds it odd that anyone should find her? Or perhaps it is that she imagines the Tarnished likely uninterested in archaeology, that we would only bother with the pursuit of the present. No. I'm interested in learning things. For example, sorcery.
A yen for glintstone sorceries. Well, your aptitude does appear passable, but one must choose one's masters wisely. I was exiled from the Academy of Rea Lucaria as a reviled, apostate witch. Do you still wish to learn from me?
I wonder if she might have observed my conflict with that pumpkin over there. Perhaps she saw that I was using magic to face it, or heard that I spoke magic was capable of overcoming the greatest of obstacles. Regardless, well, we are of one kind then. For me, there is no love lost with the Rea Lucaria Academy. Perhaps they didn't deserve you. I still desire to learn, Sellen.
Well, you are a piece of work. Very well. You are now my protégé in glintstone sorcery. But I refuse to coddle, or cast kind words. Never. Anticipate grievances, young apprentice.
Very well. I shall bear that in mind and not dwell too much on any concerns over pleasantries. My desire is to learn, not to make a new friend. And so long as you can facilitate that, well, all else matters little. Perhaps I have finally stumbled upon a worthy mentor after all this time. But I shall not avail myself of glintstone pebble. The most basic glintstone sorcery of the Academy. The glintstone serves as a conduit launching magical projectiles at foes. This sorcery can be cast repeatedly while in motion. Supposedly, it is the universal first step on the journey of true knowledge of sorcery, but I have Glintblade, and I need no such step, for I have taken mine already. And this shall do. Glintstone stars I will, however, avail myself of. One of the glintstone sorceries of the Academy of Rea Lucaria fires 3 magical shooting stars which pursue the target. This sorcery can be cast while in motion. Charging enhances potency. A sorcery of the Olivinus Conspectus, which attracts sorcerers from Celia, town of sorcery. Celia is another place beyond Rea Lucaria, it would seem, that focuses on the arcane arts. And Olivinus implies there are multiple other conspectuses. Rea Lucaria must have a complicated setup. More than one house concerning themselves with teaching. One of the glintstone sorceries of Academy of Rea Lucaria, Glintstone Arc, is an interesting one which fires a horizontal arc of magic that spreads outwards. This sorcery can be cast repeatedly while in motion, granted to sorcerers who depart from the Academy to embark on journeys in order to fend off large groups of would-be adversaries. For fools often roam in packs. So I have seen. So I might as well take it. One of the glintstone sorceries of the Academy of Rea Lucaria, the Crystal Barrage, which fires a volley of glintstone crystal shards. Charging increases potency. This is a sorcery of the Crystal Cadre, a group of sorcerers who pursue the wisdom of stone. Secrets locked in the faint cognition of crystallians. Stone reminds me of the earth, the resting place of all those who perish. Certainly, catacombs seem to have both earthly abodes, such as coffins filled with dirt and ash, and skeletons which rise up from within. It is a strange thing that housing places of the dead should allow their people to rise up and dwell outside them. Strange indeed. One of the glintstone sorceries of the Academy of Raya Lucaria, Scholar's Armament enchants armament held in the right hand with magic affinity attacks. Sorcery can cast while in motion. Taught to the Knights of the Cuckoo by the Academy as payment for their contract. It would seem that despite being split up between multiple conspectuses, the Academy has joint accounts and makes joint alliances. That they need knights of their own is most intriguing as, well, sorcery is quite the offensive and useful art. I wonder what this is about. One of the glintstone sorceries of the Academy of Raya Lucaria, Scholar's Shield, enchants a shield held in the left hand with additional damage negation. This sorcery can be cast while in motion. Taught to the Knights of the Cuckoo by the Academy as payment for their contract. Oh, sure. I might as well, though it does leave me fain, weary for my own coin purse. It will leave me some, at the very least, and I appreciate that. I appreciate learning more so. So tell me more about glintstone sorcery, Sellen.
Our art draws upon the powers embedded in glintstone. But what is the nature of such power? Glintstone is the amber of the cosmos. Golden amber contains the remnants of ancient life and houses its vitality, while glintstone contains residual life and thus the vitality of the stars. It should not be forgotten that glintstone sorcery is the study of the stars and the life therein, a fact lost on most sorcerers these days.
Deeply unfortunate. But that is quite the revelation. So sorcery, at least of the glintstone variety, is linked to the celestial powers. It is most intriguing to learn this in its own right. But we ought especially to take care to consider what was said about the nature of glintstone and the golden counterpart thereof. Firstly, they are called amber, meaning that they are hardened, crystallized forms of something more fundamental. Secondly, that fundamental substance is clarified to be primordial life, or residual life of the cosmos. Since we have the Gilded Greatshield now, we are able to know at least one example of the life that is described for each category. Melina, burned and bodiless as she is, takes physical form and can briefly live again, whilst bathed in the light of grace, which likewise gives us life once more after each time we are thereof bereaved. She comes and she departs in motes of blue light which are strikingly similar to the blue light of our own glintstone and that which glows inside of these gems, as well as that in the glintstone and glintblade sorceries. As such, we must conclude that this blue light is the light of spirits, and so both the sorcery is spirit-powered, and the stars themselves must be great spirits, adrift amongst the heavens. Reminds me of the relief around the door through which I emerged and found myself in Limgrave. Anyway, on to the other example. The primordial matter which became the Erd Tree was once red-tinged gold. This amber-like hue is rather telling, I should think. For trees are alive and ancient and primordial are synonymous. Perhaps then, though for now this is deeply conjectural, what became the Earth Tree, its seed if you will, was actually a primordial star. Its homeward yearning would explain why it grew so much taller than any other tree in this world. A desire once more to reach the heavens, perhaps. And yet... but the tree was unable to reach all the way. And what we see now is not like that. Its red hues are almost completely gone. Something must have happened to it. Something that changed its nature. That is something most interesting indeed. Hopefully, we will be able to find out more of this. But I should say, it meshes with the information we have about the Erdleaf flower. A dusky yellow flower that has started to turn brown, found throughout the lands between. That brown is an orangish red, similar to the primordial matter we find on this gilded Greatshield, and similar to that on the red side of the tree and beast surcoat. It strikes me as quite important that these things should be emphasized, indicative of the nature of the Earth Tree shifting. And the Erdleaf flowers are fertilized by old leaves, not the new ones. Of this we have taken note, and it speaks to the nature of not only the tree, but the world it stands over. Earth Tree means Earth Tree, after all. And this is a place of Earth.
Young apprentice. First things first. You are a tadpole when it comes to magic. Infantile. Without the legs to walk. So, to become a sorcerer, first, you must face your ignorance. Now, shall we start learning?
While I do not appreciate the comparison, you are true to your word and wise in the speaking. I am ignorant indeed, and it is that imperfection I seek to alleviate. So, despite my reluctance, let us begin. I shall take the glintstone pebble within my grasp and learn from it.
Your appetite for learning is impressive. You make me proud. To have grown little legs so readily. You must have a fabulous teacher.
You honor me greatly, my teacher. Thank you for recognizing my humility. The willingness to overcome this hesitation and old rivalry which I had in days of past. Though I do loathe that I must learn it, personal comfort is not something which should impede a scholar. I shall return, Sellen, but it shall take me a while, I should think, before I'm ready to digest any more. After all, I can't even memorize all the spells here. Let's take the glintstone arc. It should at the very least allow me to better manage multiple opponents at once. Having many soldiers after me makes things difficult. And what in this world? Oh! Val returns. Oh, Miranda! I shall have to avenge myself. Now we can see what's over on the horizon. Finally, we have a proper breakthrough. Thank you for being so kind. Goodness, it is getting fun to bait those buffoons. But it would seem there is another sorcerer at play. And so I have a duty to extinguish them. Thank you, goodbye. But what's this? Yes! Behold the emblem of Caria, great and royal as it is. Sorcery scroll of the Carian royal family, the heads of the Academy of Lucaria. For it would seem our dearest queen has ascended. Yes, yes. How could I forget this? Well, no matter. Now, these soldiers have these men digging around in the dirt around these ruins searching for something. What is hard to say, but what we do know is that when we kill these people who are digging around, they often drop Roa and they often drop ruin fragments. So this might be akin to a mining operation, where people are acquiring ruin fragments for their properties, such as creating rainbow stones. Let's see if we can corroborate that. There. Ruin fragment. Proved my point. Twice over, it would seem. Now, we could continue along that road, but I think it would be better serving us to continue this way first. You I will ignore. What do we find here, other than a crucifix bearing a tarnished or some other condemned person? Well, we see this view. A view heading over to the land over there, whatever that is. Spirit spring. Oh, how interesting. These. Great bowls of purple. Just silently looking and sometimes scrambling around. What is this? Forlorn Hound Everdew. Hound. Which reminds me of something. Wasn't there? No. I must not have purchased it. I suppose it's time to go back then. To the Church of Ella, where I seem to have left something unpurchased that I might actually have some need of.
This way, Tarnished. May I have a word?
Who are you? Blue mists fill this place, causing Kale to slumber along with his beast of burden. She sits by Grace between two pillars, flanked as if framing her in a very, very curious manner. Well, next time I die, I will have to come back. Or, I should say, next time I revive, I will have to come back and see what she's doing here. I'll talk to her again then. The night has fallen. The moon is blue. This is usually not how Grace works. What is this mysterious woman whose power... Oh, I remember. The voice that greeted me as I was coming back to life. It spoke of Merika's children and gave an image of her. That should be interesting. But alas, time runs short.